Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about all of the books that I read in the month of January. And yeah, grab your coffee and your florals and let's get into it. Yeah. Wow! I actually have a script. I was writing a script and then I got tired and I left it midway. That's just me. And yeah, this is my journal and the list of the books that I created that I read in the month of January. So I read a total of 5 books, almost 6 books, but I'm not counting the book that I did not finish. And of course it is a poetry book because I can never finish a poetry book on time. So without further ado, let's start. So the first book that I read is Breasts and Eggs by Mieko Kawakami, and you must have heard about it, and if you have not, you must be living under a rock. So I read it in Audible, in audiobook format. Yeah, I listened to the audiobook, I mean to say, and it's a pretty popular book, but still I will tell you what this book is about. So this book explores the stories of 3 women. What I liked about this book is that it only has female characters. Not only, it has majority of female characters. So we follow our protagonist, what was her name? Oh my god, Natsuko. Yes, Natsuko is an aspiring writer, and I'm guess she works at a pub also, and she's not very rich from what we can see, and she's almost 30 to 35. She's entering that age where she cannot produce child, so she goes on this journey of adopting motherhood without a need of a man. This book also explores the science, the community of children who are lab produced, who are produced by strangers, like their mentality, how they cope with the fact that they were not born out of love, they were just some random man's semen with their mother. So that is a very heavy topic in itself. Also, this book explores societal expectations on womanhood and women's bodies, beauty. Japan and South Korea, as we all know, is like they spend a lot on beauty procedures and the way they perceive others, themselves, and because of the looks only, there is a lot of bullying in their society, racism. So this book touches that topic also. And yeah, Breast and Eggs. Breasts, the elder sister, Natsuko's elder sister, is obsessed with breasts augmentation and implantation throughout the book, and Axe, the second sister, Natsuko is obsessed. Not obsessed, just like she's just bombarded in this new world of producing child without a man. So this book explores that topic, and like it was really a refreshing topic for me, but I don't know, the writing felt flat to me. And like I have heard so much about this book, but this didn't. And because I have heard so much about this book, I had so much expectations from the writing, the content, the synopsis is very interesting, but the writing did not like enthrall me that much. So I gave it a 3.5 stars. Yeah, let me just quickly check if I'm missing something that I wanted to show in this book. No. So the second that I book read is The Man Who Spoke Snakish by, oh my god, by Andrus Kivirähk. And this book is an Estonian writer. I have never heard about this country prior to this book, and this is the first book I have read from this country. Makes sense. Yeah, I really loved it. Like now looking back, I think I should have given it 4 stars, but I gave it 3.75 stars. It's a very strong contender for 4 stars. And like looking back, I do feel like I will reread it because This book gave me the vibes of Things Fall Apart and 100 Years of Solitude, because yeah, this book is a satire on colonization, civilization, uh, culture erosion, and blind following. Like, these are very heavy topics, and yeah, it was really funny. And actually, this is the funny satire on the history of European, like how we became civilized, how they became civilized, and it applies to every society, because there is class struggle, cultural struggles. When you are modernizing, you have to leave some habits aside, like back, and adopt a new kind of lifestyle if you want to be called a modern person, if you want to be called civilized. And this comes from people who live in jungles and forests. And yeah, so let me talk about the whole synopsis of this book. I have already told you the themes of the book. So coming back to the storylining, so it's set in a medieval era where our protagonist, uh, Leemit is a young man. He is the last person in the forest who can speak the language of the Snakish. So this is set in a world where people used to talk to animals, and the animals used to follow their command. Like, if you spoke Snakish, everything was easy for that. Was the way of life at that point of time. So if you want to eat a deer, if you want to eat whatever animal, so you just spoke Snakish and commanded to them, and they followed human who spoke Snakish. So our hero is the last one who can speak this kind of language. And why he is the last one? Because everyone is going to the village. That is the modernity. Village symbolizes the modernity in this book. Forest symbolizes the old patterns, the ancient civilization. So this like, this is a folklore type of story, and this entails the struggles with two types of thinking mentality, the way of living life, and the modern people despising the uncivilized people, forgetting the fact that they came from that side only. So instead of sympathizing with them, talking to them, and like convincing them, they just straight up hate them. And this happens like in this era also. Yeah, and I really love this book. So our hero is the last of everything. He's the last man who can speak Snakish. He is the last male who is in the forest who can reproduce. He's the last of so many things, and he just hates this fact that why he is the last, and he's not inclined toward going to the village. He just wants to be in the forest, but he likes village girls. There is this one girl, Meera, I guess her name is. He wants to mate with her, whatever, because yeah. So yeah, this also how do I say, this also talks about the absurdity of religion, or following whatever faith you have and blindly following it without questioning it, without finding a logic behind it, and straight up doing bad things or nonsensical things in the name of a faith, a religion, a cult, whatever you say it. Yeah, I really love this book. And this also like, the main theme is about obsession with sticking to your rules, sticking to your community, and like, I'm not saying you should blindly accept anything. So everything should be in balance. Like, something you should adopt, like if you believe in something, that is good, and it is also good to adopt new hobbies, new habits, new way of living life. So yeah, this book is all about that. There should be a balance between the two things. I really love this book, and look at the cover. And I got it from Lock the Box sale held by Bookstore. I got 13 books for 1200, so it is, yeah, I got it for less than ₹100. There are some beautiful lines in this that I have tabbed. I really love this book. Yeah, I gave it 3.75 stars, but it is a strong contender for a 4 star if I reread it. But I won't be reading it soon. because this was a heavy book, and yeah, it is a pretty thick book, and I do believe that this could use some editing, because the writing, like, I spent a lot of time reading this book, which does not take me a lot of time reading a book of this length. Yeah, so that is that. And the third book I read, actually it is again a audiobook. It is Fortuna by I forgot, KJ Sutton, sorry. Yes, so I purely picked this book because of Emily. It's this is the first kind of fantasy books that she actually admires, and I can see why. So Fortuna Swan is a story of, it is set in a fantasy world wherein there are people with different kinds of power, and Fortuna is a nightmare. She can go into your mind and make nightmares out of your fears. So yeah, she's the last of her race, of her kind, and she is on a quest to find her kidnapped brother. So one day a fae comes and offers her a marriage of convenience, wherein he will help her find her brother, and all she has to do is marry him. And yeah, this whole journey, they go to a place where fae lives. I forgot the name of the country, or whatever the name was. Yeah, I had really had high expectation. I don't know what was I thinking. I do not read fantasy that much, and yeah, it felt flat to me. I'm not going to badmouth the book, but yeah, I'm not going to continue with the series. That's what I gave it 2 stars, and really feel bad about it, but I did not enjoy my time reading this, listening to the audiobook even. Yeah, that's that. So these are 3 books, and the 4th book that I read is Every Exquisite Thing by Laura Steven. This is a modern retelling of The Picture of Dorian Gray. Like, Picture of Dorian Gray is my favorite book of all time, and yeah, I was really hooked when I read in the back that this is a modern retelling of Picture of Dorian Gray, and I can see why. So also I'm just irritated by the fact that there is sexy is written 3-4 times in the description of the book, and I can see how the marketing of this book, they wanted to sell it book, but yeah, sexy is not the appropriate appropriate word for this book. Yeah, so this book is about a girl, Penny, who has a very infamous mother. She's an actress, and she almost looks young. She's almost 40-50, and she looks not a day older than 20 or 30, and everyone the world is obsessed with her beauty and her charm. So this follows an academy by the name Dorian, and in this academy, I think I might be spoiling this book, but there is a huge secret. There is a masked painter, and if he paints you, you become forever young. You get stuck in time the moment he paints you. And oh my god, this was so scary, and I really liked this book. I was not expecting it to be so good. So this is about Penny and her mortal enemy. I got the name of the girl, and there are 2 girls that are sworn enemies, and they are the best in their batch. So that explains why. And both of them make a mistake, and it is all about finding that masked painter. I will not be spoiling a lot of this book, because I'm noticing there is not really written anything in the blurb, so I won't tell you about what happens. And there is a twist, and I believe there will be a second part, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, there is already a second part. And yeah, this talks about beauty, our obsession with staying young, especially females, our obsession with people perceiving us only about our looks, the power and dynamics that comes with feeling that you are prettier than you were yesterday, or you are getting prettier than you were before. And yeah, the price you have to pay for looking young, or what, in entering that kind of mindset. Yeah, this book is like, I really like this book. I gave it 4 stars. Yes, no, I gave it 3.5 stars. That's that. And the last book that I read is The End of the Affair by Greene. So this is the first book I read by Greene, and like, he's a strong contender to be like one of my favorite authors in modern classics. I haven't read a lot to say this, but yeah, like, I just flew through this book. The writing is so good, and this is about the obsession of our protagonist Maurice. He is a writer, a very famous writer, and Sarah is a wife of a civil servant. So they had an affair, and this is about the rekindling of that affair. Sarah leaves Maurice abruptly and cut off all contacts, and because she cut it in such a sudden way, this is about his obsession with Sarah. And like, I was blown away by the fact that this is based on the real life of Greene. He had an affair with a married woman, so this is heavily semi-autobiographical, and it shows, like, this looks like it's written from the heart. That's why I have tapped so much. I really loved it. Like, and like, this book reminded me why I love mass market paperbacks so much. Like, I travel a lot because of my work for 1.5 hours from both sides, like coming and going, and that is like, the morning is the main time that I read, and this is very travel friendly. Yeah, this book is about extramarital affairs, the cost of it, marriages, relationships, what even is marriage of convenience. This is set in World War II London, so that makes sense. And this is about love. This is about religion. Yeah, Sarah becomes obsessed with being Catholic in the end, and that is the main reason she leaves Maurice, because when you become religious, extramarital affair is punishable, it's evil. And yeah, it talks about little bit about that. And mainly, I just like, the reason I love this book is because it is set in an autobiographical tone, and I really like, I vibe with those books. And there are some really beautiful lines that are written from bottom of the heart of the author or the character. And yeah, like, it just shows that it is very emotional, the lives that I have trapped. And I really urge everyone to read this book, not because the topic is interesting or whatever, it's just the writing is very easy to read and beautiful. Yeah, I give this 4 stars, and I have 4 or 5 books more by Greene, and I'm definitely going to read some of his books this year, because I am noticing I do not read books by the same author in a long period of time. I should do that. Like, there should be some author that I can confidently say that, oh, I've read this much amount of books by him. Maximum it is 2 or 3, and that is going to be, no, Thomas Hardy. I have read 5 books by him. He is my favorite author. Love him. And like, in terms of modern classic, I think Greene is the one I'm inclined towards reading that much. Yes, so this was my little reading update, and I hope you liked it. And the reviews, I tried to be like very informative about the books, and I got this from Lock the Box sale only for less than ₹100, and I got this for free. Don't ask me how. Yes, and I am currently listening to the audiobook of Know My Name by Miller. She is the infamous girl who, like, that is not her sole identity, but yeah, she is famous for the Stanford sexual assault case, and that is her side of story, that she was not allowed to speak. And this is such a beautiful book. I will talk about this book later in my February wrap up. I'm going to give it 5 stars, just so you know. Yeah, these were the books I read in January, 2 audiobooks, 3 physical books. Yeah, thank you. Bye.